Peace and blessings. Ashe to the ancestors. Alafia, good people. Today's video is about being uprooted. What does uprooted mean? Uprooted means being colonized. And what happens when if you take a plant and take it out its roots, rip it, it has to start all over, grow again, plant it on foreign soil, it may not grow. All plants can't grow in the same environment. So as a people who have been uprooted, who journey from another continent into the mixing bowl we call America, who are we? Who are we as a people? Where did we start from? Who was our ancestors? These are all things that have to do with the soil we were snatched from. You know, one of the biggest problems, or let's just say the science behind someone displacing someone, is that if you don't know where you're from, you can be programmed. You can be programmed. A different ideal can be put into your energy, into your spiritual, physical body. Your energy can be channeled and changed to whatever someone wants you to serve. Hence, that's where the slave energy was born from. Someone, generations of being brainwashed, traumatized, having a religion whipped into you, right? Same religion that's telling you to love thy neighbor, love this, being whipped into you, and your actual culture being stripped from you and forbidden to practice, right? So why would someone need to take people from another land if they have people on their land to build, to construct, or do whatever it is that they want to do in this new nation, besides kill, steal, disease, murder, whatever the slavers done when they entered into these foreign soils. Why did they need other people? So let's talk about that. Let's touch on that. Let's talk about the creative force of the planet. The creative force in a human. They say that the creativity and your power lays within your subconscious mind, right? So that would probably make the black race as being the subconscious mind of planet Earth. When you look at jazz music, blues, pop, rock, whatever it was, all of our ancestors, all of this music was produced by people who lost their heritage, had it stripped from them. Also been treated in the worst conditions a physical person, and this is black men, black women, Native Americans as well, and there's other historical facts of other people being enslaved. But however, for some reason, as black people, we have become creative when put to the fire, right? The creative element came out. So when you take a people who don't know, well, they have to have some kind of science to understand the dichotomy of the black energy, African energy, or the melanated energy, to take our ancestors to a foreign land and begin to create what we call America today. And it's not just America. There was Brazil, Cuba, there's other places that we went to in the islands, and we created. However, the ideals of the subconscious mind of melanated people is powerful. It's the creative, it's the active creative force. When you look at the world in a totality, in the overall totality of it being one organism, Mother Earth being a spirit, a place that we live where other spirits walk and grow, from trees to animals to humans, insects, whatever it may be. When you think of that, and the energy of the planet becomes more collective, it's safe to say that the African people, the African American people, have become some of the most creative people on the face of the earth, and also have experienced the most hardcore beginning that you can actually experience. You know, rather than the war-stricken areas like Iraq, Afghanistan, and some of these other places where you wake up in the morning and your family's dead from a bomb. Slave trade was crazy. Trail of Tears was crazy. So being uprooted, for what purpose? For someone to plant an ideal in your mind to create what they want to create, right? So that's a form of, the highest form of slavery, to be ripped from your culture. This is mental too, and spiritual, and erase your ideal of who you are as a person, your taboos and your traditions, your names of your gods, food you eat, environment you grow up in, the laws of the land, the things that we paid homage to, our traditions, our cultures, to be stripped of that and be replaced with something totally foreign in a new world that we live in today, and be an integral part of creating that world. We've been uprooted for that very purpose. And I hope that, you know, scientifically, someone had to be really on top of their science to understand these things in the time that slavery took place. You had to really be on top of your game to really manipulate and put what we call America today, the ideal of America, into play. From where you see the ground roots of when it was born, from places like Black Wall Street and other powerful places in Philadelphia that was bombed before, right here in Georgia, all over the country, the fight to want to create music, all of that to be controlled and funneled through a system created by someone who somehow understood our energy and how our energy worked. You know, and even the structure that we in today is a very, it's a penitentiary. Okay, with the laws, the codes, the ordinances, it keeps you confined to paying that bill every day, paying that bill every month, credit cards, these ideals of going here, going there. From, you know, high school, what we learned, you want to be famous, want to play football, need a house, need a wife, from all these different ideals to be planted. It's a very serious level of mental conditioning that took place before we even understand that there was a thing called mental conditioning, at least the American born people. So how do you get back to your soil, your own soil? How do you reroute? First, you start with deprogramming, unlearning, detaching from all of these things that you were told you were, all of these customs that are actually contrary to who you are as a person, a spiritual person. None of it's conducive to you. So how do you get back to these things? Well, you have to go back to your roots, not just your recent roots. You have to go back beyond slavery and dig deep into, and not be afraid to go face the things that you've been stripped from, booted from too, because slavery was a real thing. There had to be someone selling us out into slavery as well. So getting back to your roots is crucial, which a lot of the trauma we went through has become our biggest obstacle. A lot of our minds been indoctrinated into certain doctrines, not throwing no blows at no traditions, no religions, because they all have their origin. There's a bit of truth in everything. Your spiritual walk is your spiritual walk. My spiritual walk is my spiritual walk. However, deprogramming yourself, getting rid of the fear factor of yourself, looking in the mirror and saying, who am I? Where did I come from? Taking a glance back into the past, which is seeming to be the future now, because everyone's jumping back into some form of wanting the authentic African energy back. Everybody, that's going on all over the world, especially these other countries where the first slaves settled. A lot of people are longing to get back to the original blueprint of who we were, as well as it being in Africa. A lot of people going back home as well. However, There's purpose behind you coming here. There's purpose behind you becoming a part of this new thing. I mean, we was here at the birth of America. You know, some of us got Native American blood. Some of us came here as in slavery. But however, this land was not developed the way it was when we got here. So we built this. So America is every bit our land. You know, it's a part of our life. Some serious wars that took place here involving our people. You know, a lot of lives been lost. So you got to start at some point dealing with your trauma from growing up in America, dealing with your glitches, the things that make you unnatural, you know, to the world, the things you don't even know that you're unnatural to. You just do things and you suffer repercussions from whatever spiritual force jumps on you from when you jump out of alignment. You got to get back to the original blueprint of who you are. And that requires you to study and dig deep. It requires you to forgive things. It requires you to deal with your own darkness, be accountable for things that you did. Accept it. Accept it. And in the midst of that darkness, ask yourself, why? Why did I go through this? There's a deeper meaning behind why slavery popped off. Why it was so painful. You know, why it was so hard on African Americans when we got here. There's more to it than just us being sold out slaves. I mean, but the thing is that we fought to become stronger, to become where we are today. Even though integration we were becoming even more powerful integration, now we back into segregation. We were more powerful, but we're moving back into it. We're into an integrated system. So we have to somehow learn how to operate. However, like I say before, don't fall for the illusions of life and disregard your spiritual walk. See, we know as being spiritualists, you know, and the traditions that I practice and study, we know that what goes on up there creates what's going on down here. It will always be like that. If your spiritual world is off, if your physical world and life is off, it's a direct result of what's going on in your spiritual world. A lot of us don't know 1-2 generations back, great-grandparents, who they were. A lot of us don't. These are things you need to know, you need to find out. And the reason why you need to know that, if you don't know your roots, you don't have no strength. You're going to wither away. Like most of us do. A lot of us is on drugs. We don't understand how we get addicted to drugs. How did this environment that we in, why is there drugs in this environment? You understand what I'm saying? What is your natural environment? What did you do as a people? I know for myself, I went back into my ancestry. I looked at the cultures. I had no fear of it. I knew it was something that my mind was so wrapped up into. Hustling, street life, broken family, fight the power, rebellious energy, that in order for my consciousness to shift over and to even be willing to take a look at this other stuff, it was difficult. It was difficult, but that's a long story. However, you have to start taking a look into your African roots. It doesn't matter what your roots are. If it's Spanish, you gotta take a look back into the things that you don't understand about your ancestors, which is really your arms and legs in the spirit world, right? So you gotta take a look back at that stuff and know where you came from, and and I ain't saying disregard the Creator, because the Creator everything is a part of the Creator. Everything, your power you got belongs to the Creator. Okay, you're here experiencing life as a physical being, a spirit that came from the Creator. You've been given a gift to do certain things. Some people get egotistical with it. The moment you do that, guess what? Your gift becomes a curse. The same skills that you had to troubleshoot, to figure things out, to pull in business, you begin to start pimping people. It becomes a curse. It becomes contorted, twisted. Now you walking around, instead of shining because of the blessing the Creator gave you, you shining with the curse that you thought you owned. You feel what I'm saying? So I say all this to say, being uprooted, yes, you were ripped out of the soil. literally, like a carrot. You was ripped out of the soul. You lost your spiritual culture. Everything. You must start studying and going back into those things and allow your ancestral memory, your spiritual memory to begin to, reconnect with you. Allow those things to absorb back into you, reinitiate yourself into the things that you lost, so that your spiritual antennas are up, so that you get stronger, you become more rooted. You don't have so much fear in you from trying things, and your mind isn't so frustrated. So yeah, my point is that we've been uprooted like some plants. High power thinking behind this project that we involved in. Very high level of thinking to create the whole system, laws, ordinances, codes, and all these things to keep us in check, spiritually in check and in place, but also out of place. You feel what I'm saying? Not allowing you to get back into your original alignment, your original blueprint of who you were designed to be. So go back into your history of who you were. Technology's here. You can study now. You can read. You can go to these places, visit these places. That's one gift that we have from fighting so hard here in America. You have access to all of these traditions, the land that you came out of. You can even trace your ancestors back to where you came from. So you've been uprooted. You need to plant yourself back in. You need to take this little broken chain link that look like that. Grab that chain link that came when slavery came and disrupted everything that we knew. Take that link and click it back, boom, to the ancestors that was in compliance with nature, in compliance with natural law, spiritual law, universal law. Connect that chain link so it straightens up and shakes up all the debris and allows your energy for your children to receive it, straight from the ancestral root all the way down to your children. Legacy, what we call it. Leave something here. If it ain't financial, it has to be spiritual, has to be wisdom, so that our children don't stumble upon the same obstacles we did. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Peace and love. Check it out.